All right, how's everybody doing today? Can you guys all hear me okay? Just going to do a quick sound check. I apologize, just realized if the video is shaking here, it's this thing's fault right here. um, maybe I'll slow it down. It's not shaking the whole damn desk. There we go. That should be a little bit better. Okay. You guys can hear people? All right. So today we have Tor, and we have somebody else who is literally right behind me. We have my buddy Emerson here. I'm going to try to not be... Oh, your mic's picking up me talking, so...
I'll mute it when I'm not talking.
Yeah, that'll work. But yeah, so I'm trying... I did try to, like, go live on Rumble as well, because I don't know, and I found this out because I was watching another YouTuber. Rumble and Odyssey used to have a thing where they would synchronize YouTube's stuff over to their platforms, and YouTube got pissy and decided to cut that off. So I manually downloaded all the content that was not auto posted on Rumble and re-uploaded like 20-something videos to our Rumble channel. And we can do multi-streaming, obviously, with this platform. So I was trying to get that all working, and it didn't. They have like a static stream key option, and oh, I think it is working now. It says recording in progress. I think it picked it up. Let's see. So this should be the number 6, I think. This is our live stream 6, right?
Yes,
it's number 6. Yeah, so basically it's kind of cool. You can set a template, and then so basically I just have like the template show like live stream episode with a £, then I'm just going to edit the episode number. So yeah, we should have people watching live on Rumble. I'm checking it right now. Oh, it is working. Cool. So I will keep the Rumble chat open here too, because it does not support it in Streamlabs yet. Not yet. But yeah. Yeah, I see here. I have multi-stream StreamYard and Rumble to YouTube after enabling static stream keys. Yep. So yeah, we will be. My apologies for not realizing that the synchronization between YouTube and Rumble was not working, and finding out it was Rumble's, or not Rumble's fault. It was YouTube's fault because they're being all pissy and locking people out. So, yeah. So, first thing I want to give an update on, because I know people are going to ask, and I'm not somebody that likes to just say. What's that?
With it being in the background?
Yeah. So I am using the X1. It is in LAN only mode. I did not get the packet capture working on Unify, and I was just running out of time. So I did not do any actual manual packet capture when I did the software update. I will say, until I did the software update, this thing sucked. The first layer was off all the time. It was not a good time. I was getting very frustrated. So I did the software update, refactor reset it, rejoined it to the network, and then put it in LAN only mode. Now it is blocked at my firewall level, so even if it was trying to get out, it won't. And I do have information on what it's been doing since it's been on my network printing, because my firewall does log attempts of devices trying to get out that are being blocked by firewall rules. And I'm pretty happy to report that it's really not doing anything. It is basically just looking for time, which I think we already knew about that. So let me share this here. So this is my Unify firewall here, and you can see I gave it a meaningful name, and X1C, and it's just trying to get time. It's just doing NTP, so it's not even trying to send any other data. These are all NTP server IP addresses. You can see there the port 123. Port 123 is network time protocol. It's been behaving itself. So as far as I can tell, their LAN only mode is pretty LAN only, aside from trying to get time. But you can see here, I have a traffic rule called WAN blocks. This device has a static IP assigned to it through my router, and it's blocked. So even if they were trying to do stuff to get it to phone home and send data back, it can't. It hasn't been doing anything nefarious. So I guess it's not bad. It's good. It's good. And it's been printing really well. I actually am enjoying using this now that it's actually working correctly with the new software. I did also do a whois lookup because I'm very thorough on the different IP addresses. So this was one of the other IP addresses, the 69.64.225.2. This is a US address owned by Portland Networks, and this is one of their NTP servers. The second address was this 44.190.40.123. This is also a network time protocol server owned by Amateur Radio Digital Communications, or ARDC, in California. And then the last one was this 23.150.40.242, which is also a US address in Wyoming, which is also a network time protocol server. So there is actually nothing nefarious going on as far as I can tell with my printer, with the software it's running. So all these guys talking out their ass about how it's even in LAN only mode, it's doing all this horrible stuff. They're wrong. Like, I don't see any evidence of foul play. I don't see logs getting sent. It's not even trying to send anything. It's literally just going, hey, what time is it? Which is fine. Oh, that's a 3D Dramateer. Oh my God. So I was thinking about, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be at Rocky Mountain Rep Fest. I was thinking about getting a shirt if within like a couple weeks, because I can get it made within about 2 weeks. So I can get it before we leave for Merv, have a shirt that I'll wear underneath my TH3D shirt that just says, hey, Grant, where are the logs? And then I'll try to get a picture with him and take my TH3D shirt off really quick and then have that one underneath it. And then take a picture of them with a shirt that says, hey, Grant, where are the logs? or I can just have like a crappy shirt. Maybe I'll just rip it off. Like, just get like a really worn out shirt that's like, you can tear really easily. Just
you just got to pre-cut it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Howdy, Scott.
Too hard on Grant. He had a meltdown on his Veron stream. Oh, okay. So, anyways, aside from not being able to fiddle with it as much as I like it, it's been a good printer. I've been printing some random stuff with it. I'm going to go into some new stuff we have, which it's probably on the site next week. I've got too much stuff going on today. We have a LAN party we're hosting tomorrow, but I do want to show some stuff off here that is pretty cool. So I'm going to go here and make myself big. So these are new kits that we have coming in. Well, they're in. I'm printing the parts for them. So these are different rods, and two of them have a pointed tip, and two of them have a blunt tip. So there's 4 total. I know I'm showing 3 here because the other one is already in the tool handle, and these are being printed in ABS. So this is the you're getting unclogged whether you want to or not type of tool. This little handle is really nice. This is designed by the manufacturer. We're printing them here in ABS. There's a little M3 screw in the back that you take out, and you pull the back end off, and there's a little cam in here that you turn, and then the rod comes out. So these are replaceable. So you get 4 of these, 2 blunts and 2 tapered. These go down in here. You put this in. If I can align it, put that in, turn it, and that locks the pin in. You then put the back end on and screw it back in. Now, there is a heat set insert in the printed part here that this M3 is going into it. If you guys ever saw the ads for the no clogger things, this is a better one because you can replace the pins. I do like this design. We're printing these in ABS. Now, this will be, because we're going to basically, if you guys notice all these random spools, we're going to be printing these in ABS in whatever colors we have excess of. So this will be a color will vary type of thing. I figured it doesn't matter because it's just a tool handle. So this you can literally take and jam into your hot end and force a clog out. Now, I have had just these little metal pieces from printers that came with them. G-Tech namely used to include these, and I loved using them. You could literally take them and tap them in with like the backside of a screwdriver, and it would just send the clog through the nozzle. They work really well. So I was like, we need something like this. Now,
especially if you have
part,
a break in the filament and you're using a direct drive, they're really good for just pushing it through if you can't get a clean filament.
Yeah. So we have the actual no clogger type thing, but then we also have included is a 1/4-inch driver. So there's actually a 1/4-inch metal magnetic extension pressed into this. Like we're doing all this. So it'll be assembled like this when you get it. And we're including, and this is all for $20 we're going to sell it for, an 8mm and a 7mm driver, which will cover most of your different nozzles. So, but it's just a 1/4-inch driver and it's magnetic. So you can use these. So for $20, you get the handle with the 2 nice bits, 7mm and 8mm. These will cover most of your nozzle size. And this will work with any sort of printer that has a 1.75mm hot end. So if you have a Bowden system, take your PTFE tube out, shove this down in there while it's hot. If you have a direct drive system, send it straight through. So yeah, I think $20 would be good for this. I think the no clogger that doesn't come with, one, it doesn't have replaceable rods because we will be selling just the rods. I have them on the way, but we will be selling basically refill kits for the rods. This comes with 4 of them, and it comes with the 1/4-inch driver with the 2 bits to cover most nozzles. Most of your nozzles on your printers are 7 or 8mm. That's why I went with these 2 sets here. So anyways, and these will also be printed in ABS. As far as I know, the no clogger handles, these are all PLA. For the no cloggers. So we're doing them in ABS. And like I said, it'll be random colors. Hence it'll be one of these colors. This is all my random ABS that we've acquired over the years. We're going to put it to use. I figured what better than this? Who cares what color your handle is? I mean, I'm a Milwaukee guy, so maybe I want this one I'm going to use for the product photos. This will be mine. Go with my
don't like the color you get, just reprint it.
Yeah, and we will give you the STL files that we got from the manufacturer of these parts kits. So if you do want to print your own handle and change the color, you can. There is an extra heat set insert and M3 screw in the kit. So if you want to make another handle to have a different color, you'll be able to do that. So yeah. But yeah, it'll work on any 1.75mm filament printer, just straight down into the damn hot end, whether it's direct drive. And like I said, if it's Bowden, take your PTFE tube out, shove that sucker in. Tor, they're saying your mic's low.
What happened to our audio between the last 2 streams?
I have no idea. Also, Emerson, the hotkey toggle, if you're on the browser window where you're streaming, Shift A to mute and unmute. Should be Shift A.
There we go.
Yeah, look at
better.
Yeah, see, the mute button works great. Did you have that ready to go? I have yet to put my lighting kit in my printer, though. I have actually been using it to print. So I'm using this to print those handles right now because I really don't feel like loading up filament in the other ones at this moment. I probably will. But yeah, so I don't have any of the product photos done for that. Here's what I'm going to do for you guys that are in the know. I'm just going to put this as a back order and they'll probably ship as on Tuesday. I think we can get them done. Actually, maybe I'll take the photos after the stream. The bamboo plates are in stock. Here, I'm just going to put, right I am printing on mine right now too. I have our plate in that printer right now. Hang on. It is the nozzle changing and unclogging kit. I'm going to go ahead and make it public. And like I said, there's no photos, but you guys will get what I show you. You guys get this, the two handles with everything already assembled. You'll have to put this in. I'm not shipping it like this. It'll ship all in this bag here. So, but here, I am putting it in there right now. I'm going to send a link in the chat. It's just coming soon. I'm going to put here coming soon. If you order now, it will ship by, I'm going to be on Wednesday or Tuesday at the latest. It'll ship by 2/13/24. Picks to come soon. There we go. All right. Make sure I set the shipping weight. I did. Okay. Cool. So there we go. If you guys order that, this is this. I don't have a photo up there yet. It just says coming soon. But you guys know what it is. It's the nozzle changing and unclogging kit. So there you go. All right. What else do I have that's new? Oh, the bamboo hot ends. Tor, do you want to? You should. I'm going to let you take this one because you have messed with it more than I have. Tor's been on the bamboo hot end stuff and all the upgrades like wet on rice. I'm slacking here. So
we're getting the new bamboo hot ends in. Mine's a little messy because I had a lot of thermal.
You got splooge all over it. You've been greasing it up. Your bit rate's kind of low for some reason.
On my end, it's fine.
I know because your computer's seeing the direct video stream instead of the. It's not terrible. Go ahead. Let's just roll with it.
Yeah,
so
these are going to be direct replacements for the stock X1 and P1 series hot ends.
And that's what's in your P1 right now that's printing.
Yes. I have about 100 hours or so on it now, and it's been just nonstop ABS.
Yeah, so the benefit of those is, one, you don't have to, unlike the bamboo ones, where you have to literally, you want to change the nozzle, toss the whole hot end, or, set it aside, and you got to change the whole hot end out. On these, they have, let me see if mine, here, let me switch up here.
My autofocus work? No, of course.
Here. It is a Creality, or not a Creality, a Logitech.
Logitech, yeah.
It is a Logitech. So I'm going to show this here. So mine is locked in focus. So these have hardened steel nozzles. They have beefed up heat brakes. Okay, so you can see it's not just the metal tube. It's got beefed up heat brakes going in. Actually, I have one here in multiple pieces here because they will come unassembled typically. So this is the whole hot end heat brake. It's all one piece. We have a bimetal, so the stock one is not bimetal. So we have copper up here, so it'll conduct better. We have the extra support mechanism here where the two screws go into the heatsink, and we have replaceable nozzles, fully replaceable nozzles. So instead of getting rid of the entire hot end to change your nozzle, we will have nozzles. At launch, you're going to come with a 0.4. We will have other size nozzles after launch where you guys can go ahead and change your nozzles out. So no longer do you have to change the whole hot end out like the stock one. You can just change just the nozzle. And it has the two bolts there holding it in. So you don't have to worry about even bending it. You can just unbolt the nozzle, heat it up to 240, just like we do every other one, tighten it down, and you're good. And yeah, no more bent nozzles. So that's a big thing. That the design of these are really nice because they have that two screw design there holding it. It's not just the heat brake. So these don't print any faster than the stock hot end, so you're not going to get higher flow rate, but you're going to get more flexibility and durability. That's the goal of these. So we did test it. I think, Tor, you said there was basically no difference between the flow rate between this one and the stock one, right?
Yeah, they basically failed around the same spot for flow rate tests. David, it's a little hot end stand that I put together to work on the
there you go.
Bamboo hot ends.
I'm trying to see how I can make just you. How do I make just you?
I didn't want to get thermal grease on my desk when I was putting this together.
Yeah, Tor did record a nice video here. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I just need
and you put that stand on printable.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are not the CHT type nozzles. One, because we could get in trouble legally for selling those, and two, the copper ones, when you're running abrasives, the copper gets destroyed because it's not plated, it's just straight copper. So, and the other thing is those nozzles, those CHT Chinese knockoff of the CHT nozzles, they suck at retractions. Like there are a lot of drawbacks to using those. Like they're not as good as the actual CHT nozzles. So, but we're looking at getting 0.25, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, and even 1.0 for those nozzles. My suppliers are on Chinese holiday right now, so there's that. Tor, if you are going to type something, if you type it into Streamlabs, like I just did, it should. Can you post to Streamlabs? You should be able to post it.
Nope.
I know.
That's why I posted it directly.
Oh, okay. You can post it in the private chat, and then I'll do it, or send it to me on Teams or something. Okay. Okay, I think that's all we have for new stuff. I do want to mention, so we did just recently redo our nozzle pages. So the V6, the volcanoes are getting updated later tonight. If you guys are noticed, they're gone from the site. So the steel and the brass are now on separate pages to make it easier to find. We do have now what we're calling the SP nozzles, or the spider style nozzles for Creality hot ends. So the spider hot ends and the Ender 3 V3 SE. And I think does the KE take the same ones? We haven't done the KE yet.
I believe so.
So we do have we're calling them SP. So you have your V6, your Volcano, your MK8. We're calling these SP for spider nozzles. The spider hot end type nozzles, they're a little bit shorter than a Volcano, but longer than an MK8. We do have those on the Easy Flow, and we also have those in brass for a couple of sizes for the regular nozzles. So if you guys go to our nozzle section on our site, we do have those, and there will be more nozzles getting added. I do have K1 nozzles in stock right now in brass, and I think I have the Easy Flows. No, I don't have the Easy Flows yet. I think I have brass and steel. I'm waiting on more stock to come in. But we're going to be carrying a ton of nozzles. So if there's a nozzle type that you guys buy regularly that we don't carry, let us know, and we'll get those in. We do have now an official page, which we didn't for the longest time. Our precision care, which is what we're calling our our printer services, so like a repair and upgrades type of thing. Yeah, maintenance, whatever you want, we're calling our precision care. And with right now we just have 2 levels of that. So if you go to our precision care link at the top of our site, it'll take you here. And we have two levels to that. We have and I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I don't want to bother you guys. I just wanted to bore you guys. I just want to let you guys know we have this. So basically we have a flat rate service, which is what most printers come through here fall under. It's a flat rate of $120, and it includes a ton of stuff. So we go over the entire machine while it's here, in addition to going over the entire machine and making sure it's physically built well. There's no problems. The fans are working. The wires are turning. Like, we'll put crimp ferrules on all the wires if they don't already have them. Basically treat it. Basically go over it like we do our own printers. And then if you want upgrades that are, relatively simple drop-in upgrades, not stuff where we're having to fabricate brackets and design brackets and stuff, or mounts, or, drill things and tap things. If it's stuff that we can just install on the machine, that's also included under that $120 labor charge. For more custom setups, if you guys recognize, this is actually a photo from the P1 custom build we did. We have a $50 an hour service that basically we just bill you for the hours that we accumulate over the printer. whether that's, just consulting. This also applies to remote consulting. So if you need assistance getting firmware set up, this would fall under the Elite service. And this is just our standard $50 an hour service, and that's remote or in person. So we do have these available, and it details everything that is included with either service. So that is a thing now. It's live. All right. I don't think I have anything else to talk about business-wise right now. Do you?
Not that I can think of currently. This week's been just a slow week in general.
Yep. Let me see here.
Did you want to talk about the Arco?
Oh yeah. So, Tor, you were following the Bamboo recall update. Do you want to go ahead and give people an update on the A1?
Yeah. So it looks like Bamboo is giving out credits for either you have to return the printer and you'll get an $80 credit, or you wait for the bed fix, which is in 2 to 3 months, whenever that releases, and you get $120 credit when that ships. You don't get it now. You have to wait for months, just like everything else. Micro Center is also honoring the recall with the credits, and it's a gift card for in-store only for Bamboo Lab products. So you can't get your bed and wait or get like a computer upgrade or anything. You're only getting like an upgrade for your printer or filament or something.
Yeah. Which that's fair. I mean, because when Bamboo gives people the credit, you're only going to be able to buy Bamboo products. Yeah. So, I mean, and as far as I know, their official thing now is stop using the printer completely. Like, it's not even.
They sent out an update.
Yes.
That gives you a QR code on the screen. It's like, stop using your printer. This printer is affected by a recall. Scan this QR code to learn more.
Yeah. So, and the thing is,
takes you to the return page essentially to choose your option.
So, and the thing with that is if you guys, like, I see, because I see a bunch of idiots, and you're an idiot if you keep using the printer. Like, I'm just gonna say, if you have an A1 and you keep using the printer, you're dumb. Like, you should not be using the printer. And this is somebody who's dealt with a lot of sketchy printers in my life. The main reason that it's so imperative that you actually follow their warning is that you have mains voltage running through those lines. It's not like the Creality printers, and I think there's some Creality printers that aren't line voltage, but the problem is they're line voltage, and line voltage is very dangerous when it likes to short out. So if it was a DC printer where it's running DC power through the bed, I'd probably be like, you can keep using it, just keep an eye on it. Like, it can spark, but it can't spark as aggressively and as intensely and cause as much damage as something like the AC bed. So the level of danger is significantly higher with these because they opted to use an AC bed. Another printer that would be a good example of that, if there was an issue with the bed wiring, would be like the Sidewinder X1. That was an AC bed. If they had issues with the wires, I would tell you the same thing. You're an idiot if you keep using it. It's not something I'd recommend you do. And the other thing is too, if you're running your A1 and you have a fire and you try to make an insurance claim, your insurance company is going to go, well, you knew damn well that this was a fire risk and you kept using it. Good luck. You now have to pay for all the damage to your house. We are not covering anything. So if that's a risk you're willing to take, then by all means take it. If you do, then you're kind of an idiot. So not kind of, you're an idiot. Like, you should not be using it. Here's the thing. I have seen so many companies where, like, Creality's had issues with their Ender 3 connectors. And I don't think there were any ones where they burned up, but they had the XT60s where they're getting hot because of poor quality connectors and they were getting discolored. But they didn't like spark or like even smoke.
Yeah,
it
you melted, but it was mostly
there was no fire, there was no sparking. It was discoloration. But Creality didn't do anything about that, and here's the thing. We've all expected, because they are cheap, shitty printers, that they're not going to do anything, right? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying like that was the expectation. However, these are more expensive printers. They should be doing something. And I am, if I was an A1 customer, I would be happy with their solution. It would suck. It'd be annoying, yes, but I would probably just return it and get either a Creality printer like a K1 or something, or I'd go and get their P1. If I wanted like another alternative. I mean, personally, I think the P1 and the K1 and the P1 and the X1 series over the A1 are superior. Like their Core XY printers are faster. If I was going to buy a bed flinger, I'd get a Creality. I don't see the point of buying an overpriced bed flinger.
Before they came out with the A1s, they're like, "Oh, bed slingers are done. We're not doing bed slingers." And
I think it's still on. I think it's still on their website. That it was like no more bed flingers was like their goal. Right here. I'm literally on the X1's page, X1 Carbon page. Or not the X1 Carbon, but the X1 page. Literally, the number we set 5. We hated 3D printing as much as we loved it. We set 5 goals. What's the first goal here? No more bed slingers. What the fuck are these? This is a bed slinger. This is a bed slinger. But you go to here. No more bed slingers. Now here's the thing. I don't have a problem with bed slingers. I think that's only on the X1 page. Yeah, it's only on the X1 page. I don't have a problem with bed slingers. Bed slingers are cheap, and you can get good quality out of a bed slinger if you know what the hell you're doing. But
yeah, they're super common and they've been around forever. We know the issues with them, and they're easily fixed.
Yeah, sorry. I'm actually set up a replacement order for a customer really quick while we're on here. Anyways, so anyways, the whole thing with it is if you have an A1, you can return it and they're going to give you an $80 credit on top of the refund. They're going to give you a full fucking refund, even if you had the printer for months and you'd have hundreds of hours of print time or $1,000 of print time. You can return it for full refund plus an $80 credit on top of the refund. If you want to wait for the fix to come out, they'll give you a $120 credit and send you the replacement assembly, but it's going to be 2 to 3 months. That is a damn good resolution for this problem. It's a good resolution.
I do like that they're updating the printers and telling people on the printer.
Yes, so, that is one of the benefits of having cloud connected printers is you can do stuff like that. The downside is are they gonna eventually lock people out of using the printers? Which at that point I'd be like, that's crossing a line. But I get why they would do it, but I think they're not going to do that because they know it's going to piss people off and that'll ruin their reputation and just prove people right that cloud stuff sucks. Don't get me wrong, I hate cloud shit. Whether it's Bamboo, whether it's Creality, I hate the cloud crap. For devices, for stuff like this. Like we're using cloud stuff right now to do this video stream. I like stuff like it has its place, and its place is not being embedded into our devices, right? But yeah, so if you have an A1, stop using it. Don't be dumb. Return it. If you guys honestly, if you don't need a multicolor and you just want a decent printer that's in that same price range, the Creality K1 is awesome. I have one, and my replacement extruder for the K1 showed up today. So Creality sent me out the replacement extruder to fix the problem that mine had. I can't complain. They took care of the problem.
I can attest to that too, because when we got, it was our first or second one, I went on their website, did the little live chat, and I thought she was full of crap because I'm like, yeah, cool, just give me a support number. Oh, well, just come back on support in a couple days. I'm like, all right, I'm not getting a new extruder. And 4 or 5 days later, I had a new extruder. Never got an email, never got anything. They got it to me really quick, which, again, we all know Creality's customer service in the past has been real iffy, but I don't know. I'm surprised with the quality of the K1 and the K1 Max. I'm surprised with the quality of the prints, the speed. I disconnected that side fan because it sounds like a jet engine taking off when it fires up, and it's caused many print failures, so I just unplugged it. But I mean, that's the only complaint I have. Yeah, it's noisy when it prints fast, but I mean, our mill said read the whole. I was gonna say our mill said read the whole statement, and I'm like, okay, it says sleep soundly during printing overnights. That thing's loud. You're not
Yeah.
sleeping with that thing running.
This thing, when this is running at the normal speed or higher, is louder than all 12 of our Ender 3 Pros running at 80 millimeters a second. Yes, our Ender 3s are slower, but we can fire up all 12 of these and it'll make less noise than this one printer. The other thing is their default, the big thing on this, their out of the box settings suck. You should not be having that side fan on for normal PLA speeds, because what was happening is, even with glue on our bed, on their bed, with glue stick, with even our bed cement, the left side, which is closest to that aux fan, they were lifting up. Why do you have that enabled by default on all the prints? I've gone through and basically started making my own profiles for this printer, and it's been printing great now that I've tuned it. But here's the thing. The thing that really sucked, I think what really clouded my initial reaction and made me not like this printer initially, is the fact that you have all the damn fanboys talking about how everything just works. So I went into this thinking, knowing all the shit I've dealt with Creality and Sovol and all these other printers that don't just work. And then, so I'm going expecting I take this printer out of the box, I drop my file on the slicer, set my infill settings, set my basic settings, and I should be able to print. That's not the experience. Their bed's temperatures are too low on every single damn filament. PETG, ABS, PLA, they're all set too low for some godforsaken fucking reason. Like ABS is set to 90. Run ABS at 100. 100C is what we run all the time. That's a glass transition temperature for ABS. PLA, 60. PETG, 80. They're all like, the PLA is like 35 on their cool plate, and I think 50 or 55 on the textured plates, which is not terrible, but it should be 60. Like, I don't understand why they have them set so low. The other thing is, too, you can actually print with the enclosure with PLA closed. You just have to run the auxiliary fan. So I have that profile set up because I'm not going to leave this sitting like this and somebody's going to walk by and clip this door, and then I got glass everywhere. Like, you know,
what's his name with the K1?
So the K1, I actually want to ask you this. You were, I don't know if you still are, but you were a big Voron fanboy. I know you have quite a few Vorons. Now that you've got your hands on the K1, would you rather go buy another K1 or build another Voron of a similar size if you needed another printer?
Oh God. That's a tough one. If we're talking, if money was an issue, if I was on a budget, I would hands down without hesitation get another K1 or K1 Max, depending on the size that I needed. I don't hate my Voron 2.4, but I'm not, that initial thrill is worn off. I have a lot of issues. I mean, I know it's quirks now. They're annoying, but I know them and I know how to work around them and deal with them. But my biggest thing is when I'm doing, I have to do the quad level gantry, leveling.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
And if that printer pretty much only prints ABS anyway, so it's not an issue. But if I don't let that
soak,
it fails every single time.
Yep.
It has to heat soak before I can start the print. And I even got, the Voron community said, get those the rods that you put inside the extrusions to stiffen it up. All it did was make it to where I don't have to heat soak it as long, but I still have to heat soak it. And it's, again, I don't hate the printer. It was for me, the whole thing around the Voron was I like to tinker, I like to build. So the building process was fun. So I like it for that. If I were to do another Voron, I honestly would probably do a Trident this time around. But I actually probably more than anything, I'd probably do a rat rig.
In terms of though, like if you're building a printer, so I get the whole, obviously, like I like tinker with printers too. So I get, but the whole thing is if you need another printer for business, are you buying a K1 or you're building a Voron?
If it was for business or print farm, a K1, because it's like the bamboo in the sense it's just works. Well, it doesn't. You know, you got to tweak their profiles a little bit, but it does in the sense just work. The Voron is definitely more of a hobbyist printer. But that's why I want to try out.
It's hard to beat the price on the K1 though.
Oh,
like under $400 for a Core XY, a Clipper Core XY that prints. Like I was really impressed with the K1. I was expecting it to just look nice, and I was expecting it to be a total shit show when we did the unboxing, and I was just blown away that it actually worked. And like even their cheaper printer, the Ender 3 V3 SE that I just did, I was like, holy crap, Crayley is actually putting printers out now that are polished. And like, yeah, the firmware is not perfect, but it's working now. Like we used to get printers where like nothing would work out of the box. It's nice seeing that we're finally moving towards less tinkering and more using the printer, and just maybe upgrade the hot end. Maybe we'll add some more lights to it. Like you're doing little quality of life improvements, but they're not, like the Ender 3 out of the box, you kind of had to upgrade after a couple months because the stock extruder, the arm would crack because it was fucking plastic. And like the hot end was never assembled correctly. There were like little things that you just dealt with it because it was a cheap printer. Like it doesn't matter what brand it is. I always look at stuff like, how much am I paying for it? How much bullshit do I have to deal with? As long as I'm going to pay for it, as long as I say, as long as I pay for it. So like, is the bullshit weighing down more, or is the price weighing heavier? Because like, if it's a printer's $200, I'm willing to forgive quite a bit if the printer's cheap. And that's with most products, and if I can modify it. Now, here's the thing, like with these printers, this damn well better fucking work. I paid $1,400 for a printer. This is the most I've ever spent on a 3D printer ever in my entire life. It damn well better work out of the box. And here's the thing too, another comparison is like, if you go buy a laptop, like a cheap $200 laptop from Walmart, right? It's going to be slow, but it should still work as a laptop, right? Like think about that. In the printer world, we're willing to accept a lot of bullshit for a cheap printer. But like if you bought a laptop for $200 and the damn thing's battery only worked half the time, or you had to modify the battery to get it to work, you'd be returning it, right? Do you know what I mean?
Or soldering wires and shit to keep it going.
like,
oh, I got to add a botch wire to the motherboard to get this thing up and running.
Just
no. Wait, let me two-side tape this fan to it so it can stay cool.
Oh yeah, we do have. Hang on, we do have. And Tor, I'm going to put this in mind, but Tor has verified we do have better fans for the X1 and the P1. These are the MC control board fan, and these are dual ball bearing fans. These are the ones that are double-sided taped into there. But I did have a small. I did have a small batch. I did have a small batch of them made. And I'm gonna get these on the site next week. And I'm putting this in mind because I know those fans go out, and I just want to replace it now instead of dealing with it, just like I do with my other printers. So. And luckily, they already have directions on how to replace a fan, so you guys can just refer to the actual Bamboo directions. It's literally take their fan out, put ours in. The connector is exactly the same. The pinout's exactly the same. So,
well, and going back to the Ender 3, I mean, I think most people now know what you're getting. When you're getting an Ender 3 Pro, you know what you're getting, and I've got 3. One of them we paid full price, and actually the whole reason we got into 3D printing was we bought a 3D printer for my stepson, and he couldn't give two shits. So we're like, all right, cool. We'll start messing with it. And now we have 11 printers. The next 2 Ender 3s we paid $99. We got them from Micro Center when they were doing their new customer special. But again, we knew getting into those, okay, I don't mind spending the $100 on this Ender 3 because I know I'm then going to have to spend $100 for a better control board, and I'm gonna have to update the hot end. So when it's all said and done, I'm into it about 3.5 deep, and now I got a solid printer that's gonna print quality. Is it gonna print fast? No, but it's gonna print quality. And yours run at 80, which is about what ours run. That's plenty fast.
We could go. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I do have, like, in my office, my Ender 6 is my quick printer, and actually, my Ender 3 Pro is also my quick printer because I got it set up with the higher flow shit on it. And out here, like, if we're gonna test something, I'll probably crank it out on the Bamboo really quick. The Core XY. But when it comes to production, I don't need this speed on all of these. When you've got 30 something machines, one, the faster you print, the more likely something's going to fail. That's just a fact. Doesn't matter what printers. Whether it's a Voron, a Bamboo, a K1, an Ender 3, the faster you're moving around, if anything goes wrong, the nozzle touches something where maybe something, started lifting up off the bed, and it, instead of it just, going past it and kind of, bumping it really quick, it's going to send it flying. So like, and this is coming from somebody who literally runs print farms of machines. And the other thing too, is when you're running super fast and you have a failure or a print goes somewhere it's supposed to, and it gets into the printer's mechanicals, you're now doing a ton of damage to the printer, which is then harder to fix. Like our Enders, they can push a printer around on the bed for hours and it'll be fine. Like maybe we'll break a sensor mount or something, but it's not going to have a catastrophic failure. I've seen so many pictures in the Bamboo groups and even the Creality K1 groups where they've had a print failure overnight, that the AI didn't detect, which when I had this briefly connected to the cloud. The AI doesn't detect shit on here, at least for me. Like it was making a rat's nest and it didn't even alert on it. So
And the K one's no different. But I wasn't going into it relying on that. I was just like, if it works, it works. But I'm not.
no.
It,
But the whole point is, from a production standpoint, you want reliability and the parts to finish over cranking them out as fast as you can. And the other thing too is the faster you run them, the more the dimensions are going to get skewed. No matter what printer it is, there's some sacrifices that are going to happen when you crank up the print speed. So, we want to run our parts at a reasonable speed so the layer adhesion is good, so they actually finish the job. Because if I'm printing at 50% faster, but I'm getting 40 to 50% more failures. One, I'm wasting more film and I'm wasting more power. And if I got to restart the jobs anyways, and then if they're damaging themselves because they're moving so damn fast, now I got to take the printer out and service it. It's not worth it. And that's just my experience. You guys might have a different experience, but I've been doing this for almost 8 years now. I've been doing print farm for over 5 years. I've gone through the shit.
yeah, it's well, and the nice thing about Creality too is the parts. Not only are there parts everywhere, but the community following is huge. So almost any mod that you can think of has probably already been designed and on printables or Thingiverse or whatever. So you
Dozen
have
different
that.
variations.
Exactly. So there's all sorts of things that you can do, and I'm with you on the bamboo. Like I've thought about it multiple times because some of the things that we sell do require multiple colors. And right now we just do M600 color changes. It's a pain in the ass, but
Yeah,
it
it is.
works. And it would be nice to have an AMS, and there's the enraged carrot, which that's just too complex for my simple brain to try and mess with and build. I have two of the Palette 2S Pros. They're great when they work. They take a lot of tuning and they're great when they work, but it's getting to that point. So those have been sitting in boxes.
I had one of them, and it's not. I didn't get rid of it because it didn't work. I got rid of it because I never used it.
Well, and for us, it was, we would use it for what we sell, but it took too much time to get it going, and I just said to hell with it for now. But like you said, my biggest justification or the lack of justification on the bamboo is I can't justify spending that much money when I'm looking at it as, okay, the bamboo is this much, or a Voron or a rat rig is this much. The difference is I own that Voron. I own that rat rig. I own everything about it. I can do whatever I want with the software. I can do whatever I want with the parts. I can go to the communities and find mods. And not that you can't with the bamboo, but you're very limited because it's closed source, whereas the Vorons and the rat rigs and now even Creality, they're pretty wide open. You own that machine. Now, yeah, the K1's a little bit different because of the software that they put on their board. I'm sure Big Tree Tech has already got something on the pipe. I would be very surprised if they don't to replace.
Yeah, so I mean, if they had a drop-in replacement, you could still use the daughter boards and the tool head and the bed. If they made a drop-in replacement, that would solve the issue. My biggest complaint with the K1 is I was honestly hoping they had an SD card or sort of removable module for the storage for the OS, so we could take that off, flash a standard version of Linux, and then run a standard version of Clipper. But right now, you're limited by that. Now, one thing that did get me thinking is, I think it was on the last Q&A or the one before, someone posted a link to the Sonic Pad rooting process where you use an A to A USB cable and you can basically wipe out the whole memory built into the Sonic Pad and reflash it. And I'm wondering if the same thing can be done with the K1, where it can be put into kind of a host mode where you can get access to the storage, wipe it out, put a whole new, use Armbian for an example, and get rid of their crap on there. Because honestly, I really like the hardware on the K1. It's just the software. And again, I've a lot of people, leave comments and thinking that I'm only shitting on bamboo because I don't like bamboo because I don't like bamboo. I mean, I don't dislike them. I'm not, I think I kind of have the same relationship with this as I did my Prusa, whereas it worked, but it works. I have it work. Might as well print on it since I paid the money. It is working well. I will say I really do like loading and unloading filament on it. It's super easy with the AMS.
It's underwhelming. In the end, it's underwhelming. For the price tag, it's underwhelming.
Yeah. Well, and I think if I was not somebody that was involved with like, all the 3D printing communities, I was just your average consumer, I probably wouldn't have been as underwhelmed or let down when it didn't work out of the box as it was, because everybody told me it worked out of the box. My biggest thing is I'm tired of seeing it's like the Prusa fanboys, but 10 times worse now. There was like, I'm just in this couple of these general 3D printing groups, and someone like, I got a K1 and a K1 Max on the way. Anything I should look out for? What mods are people doing? The guy's just trying to get good feedback on it. And there's like a dozen people like returning it by a P1, returning it by an X1, return it by a Bamboo, shut the fuck up. Like,
that's not what he asked. Yeah.
Like, shut up. Like, no one fucking cares. Like, in my opinion, if you don't need the multicolor, the K1 and the K1 Max are a better buy. Just on specs alone, they're a better buy. And the fact that you actually own the damn thing, you can do what you want with it. Like, the Bamboo users need to shut up. Like, they're getting really bad. They're like the fucking Jehovah's Witnesses of the 3D printing community right now.
Have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Bamboo Labs?
I'm gonna go get some water while you guys chat. I can still hear you though. I'll be right back.
and I might get shit for this, but I honestly think that the Bamboo Labs and the K1s are on the same plane. I don't think that the Bamboo Lab is any nicer, any better than the K1, and I can get the K1 for half the price. The only difference is that AMS. Well, exactly, and you don't need most people don't need an AMS, and supposedly Creality is working on an AMS. So now they've just closed that gap. They might possibly be closing that gap even more, and I just, especially now seeing one in person and seeing it print and hearing it, like I was surprised by the sound alone. Like holy shit! And Tim's like, yeah, that's not even going at full speed. You want to hear it full speed, and no, don't need to hear it full speed. This thing is loud, and just like Tim said, I'm not shitting on it. I really don't understand the love for it when it's just another.
So here's the thing. I heard you talking about if Creality makes an AMS. If they do, it's going to be Clipper based, which means it could work on any printer.
Yep.
Think about that. If Creality comes up with an AMS unit, or like, actually, this will kind of segue into our next thing. Also, I just want to mention, if you guys want to post a question for the Q&A, which is going to be our next segment coming up, go to th3dstudio.live. There's a link on that page to submit a question. So if you guys got a question about 3D printers, doesn't have to be about our products. As long as it's an FDM printer, you can ask questions. And I think Tor is going to be this community showcase. He's going to show off. I see you grabbing those parts there. You can show off your little project that you're working on.
Yeah. Like
hold it.
The Bamboo has been great. Like, I'm printing these little nano leaves.
We'll come to that. Tor, it is not community showcase time.
Turn off our filament.
Hang on.
Mills, it is a fair comparison. That's part of the industry. I mean,
here's the reality. Everybody knocks off everybody. I've given up on barking up that tree. It is what it is. It's business.
There hasn't been an original design in 3D printing for how long? I mean, come on now.
We've had shit knocked off from us. It sucks, but you know what? It's part of doing business, especially when you're doing business with the Chinese. And the Chinese rip off the Chinese. I just need to find something I can rip off with the Chinese. How the turns have tabled. But anyways, segueing into this, we're talking about Creality and the possibility of an AMS type unit for the K1. The Frozen Arco is as far as I know, and it could change, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, it's a Clipper based printer. It's a 300 by 300 by 300 Core XY, fully enclosed, and it's not out yet. As you guys know, I am not I'm not a Kickstarter person. I will not be pre-ordering this. Especially, like, I've been burned on Kickstarters. So it is Clipper firmware. So there is also the possibility that this AMS type unit, or whatever they're calling it, we're just going to call it, let's just get over it. Everybody's going to call it the AMS. If this whole machine is Clipper, you could probably end up taking this unit and put it onto another Clipper machine. The one big thing I do like about Clipper is that you can have tons of different boards connected to the same SBC and use them on one machine as one cohesive unit. I think that's awesome. That's like the K1 has 3 separate MCUs on it connected by serial. That is a really powerful feature. It's like the one thing Clipper does really well, in my opinion, that Marlin doesn't. And it's like that because they have the ability to run everything through the SBC. So Frozen has been around for many years in the resin printing industry. This is their first FDM printer. And from what I have understand, I have not heard anything bad about their resin printer. So if they're taking their time and working on this, this is probably going to be pretty good. Based on what I've seen. Now, I will be getting one of these once they're officially released. I will not be pre-ordering it or anything. I think it's kind of loosely built based on one of the Voron designs, I think, because it's the gantry that moves. The bed is static at the bottom.
It does look a lot like the 2.4.
Yeah. So yeah, they have their own slicer, which is good. So maybe it'll work with Orca, maybe it won't, but if they have their own slicer that works, that's fine. Then I don't really care about their model thing, but it's got like its own auto calibration. I mean, at this point, I think Bedlam is going to be pretty standard on every single printer going forward. It should at this point. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm going to just kind of skip through here. I don't know if they show. Yeah, so they're showing like
printing at that.
No, it's probably like just a display model. I don't know. Did they? I thought they showed in here like one of the multicolor print. I think he had it, but he didn't like zoom in on it for some reason. Like that was obviously something that was printed on it. So it's a pretty big build volume. Oh, here we go. It's right here. There's a little multicolor like Rubik's Cube print there. So focus. Oh my God. Focus. Why is this person recording not focusing? Oh my God. Why? Anyways. Yeah, if it does work well, which that print looks pretty good, and that's a prototype one. Yeah. So here's the thing. Since this is Clipper based, there's a very good chance you might be able to realistically take something like this and slap it on any machine. It's obviously going to take probably some modification, but the beauty of that is you could probably take that, and these companies would be smart to sell this as a separate unit where people could use it with any other printer. So
you just mentioned this to me when I got down here, but after doing some reading, I'm pretty excited about this one. And Frozen does make fantastic resin printers. My buddy Josh, and if you don't mind, shameless plug, J&K Props, he does like not LARPing. He does costumes and stuff for Comic-Cons. But anyway, his whole fleet is Frozen. He's got the massive Frozen one with the doors, and he has nothing but great things to say. So I have a feeling that they're going to bring that quality over to the FDM, which will be nice. I wouldn't be surprised if it has a price tag close to the Bamboo, but for me, this one would be
I'd be fine with
worth it. Right, especially because if it's running off a Clipper, then that means it's open. It's mine. You can tell by some of the pictures that it's
Clipper, not a Bass
right.
version.
I mean, when you look at the screenshots, it looks like it's just like with Crealities, it's probably a modified front end or back end, whatever the technical term is for it. But I've got to imagine you're going to be able to get into it just the same as you would with Creality. And again, they'd be stupid not to, but this looks like something more that would be more worth the money. Again, it's good. I would assume it's going to be open source. And Frozen has great. I wish I could afford them because we do have a couple resin printers. But this one's pretty exciting, and the fact that it's like you said, it's going to be a Clipper AMS. So that there is the opportunity of being able to use that on other printers. So
he's saying here MSRP for. Oh, actually, I have an email from them that I opened. Literally, they emailed me today. Hang on, I'm pulling this up. They emailed me today about the Argo because I'm on their list. I just signed up for it just to keep an eye on it. I am not going to pre-order it because, again, I've gotten burned by Kickstarters and stuff. So this is what they sent me. So here, Super early bird price. MSRP is $849. The Chroma Kit MSRP is $300. So this is going to be under, was that like $1,250 for the printer with the Chroma Kit? That's crazy. That's really
That's cheaper than the K1 Max and bigger than the K1 Max.
Same,
yeah,
same
that's bigger
size.
than the.
It's 300 by 300 by 300.
Oh, it's the same.
The
It's the same
PS5,
size.
I should say. Not much more.
I own one and I don't even know the same size.
Yeah, no, I mean this is really competitive. Literally, you can see this came in at 10:45. This came in this morning. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty tempting, but I don't think. Let's see, is this? Yeah, it's some weird thing. So you click that, it's like a $50 deposit, and then I think it goes to it. Yeah, it's Kickstarter. Fuck Kickstarters. I don't care who it is, who you are. I don't do Kickstarters. Nope. No Kickstarter.
Yeah, I agree. S3 Sebastian, it's much cheaper than I thought it would be from them. Hopefully, the quality carries over from the resin printers.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely be buying one after they come out. I will not be doing a pre-order. I mean, as much as a pre-order would probably be good for us to make content, I'm not. I'm gonna let everybody else deal with the bullshit.
Let everybody else burn their house down first.
Okay, so I've got. Let's jump into the Q&A here. We do have a couple questions, and our first one here is from Dean KQ480J. He's a regular here. He said, "I have a extra tough extruder V2. I'd like to use my SVO5. Are you aware of anybody else making that modification?" So the SVO5 has Solvol's stock direct drive, and that stock extruder is okay for TPU. It's very similar to the one that's on the SVO1 Pro. But it's not great at TPU. In terms of a mount for that, I do not have one right now. Tor, do we have an adapter plate for the multi-mount for the SVO1 Pro? Because I think the SVO5 and the SVO1 Pro are very similar. I don't think we do.
Don't think so.
I'm gonna just look on I gotta look on our own site because there's so many parts to that system. Let me see, adapter plates. No, I'm thinking of the original 01. No, you'd basically have to, like, there's no real way to reuse their setup. You'd basically replacing that whole entire hot end setup with a new one. So you could do like a multi-mount if you have an adapter plate to put on there. We don't have one right now. I might look into that, but honestly, the stock extruder is decent. But again, with TPU, they're not that great with TPU. Yeah. I don't have one. If you find any, let me look at. Let's do on. What is like? So there's printables now. There's Maker World and there's Thingiverse. Like
Things. I usually use Things for just searching for models because it pulls from everybody's site.
Does Things pull from everybody's site?
Things.
Are you thinking? Are you thinking of Yegi?
No, Things does pull from other sites.
Does it? Oh, it does.
Yeah, Yegi is another one, but Things does too.
Okay, SVO5. I'm just looking to see because they have different fan decks. So the SVO5, I am going to be making. Actually, here I found BMG type extruder mount for SVO5. Oh, I do not like that. That is dog shit. They're literally. Oh my god! Because the whole hot end extruder are one unit on that printer. This is janky as shit. I mean, this would work, but this is janky as shit. Look at this fucking abomination.
Dual extruder?
I'm sharing the screen. You should be able to see it, Emerson.
Yeah. What? That's like with the. Oh god. No, just replace the whole stock hot end. Why?
I mean, I guess that works, but oh my god, is that bad? It's reusing the heatsink here for the hot end because the hot end and basically the cold end heatsink is part of the extruder on this design. I mean, yes, I guess this works. So I guess this would answer your question. This would do what you're wanting to do, but that looks fucking ridiculous. You're muted
At,
still.
at that point, replace the whole. Just replace the whole
Yeah.
tool head. Get
Yeah.
a new hot end. Come on.
Let's see. Let's just take a quick scroll through. I didn't know that things searches other places. That's a really great idea. Yeah, anything that's like hang on, let me just search SCO5 BMG because ours does fit most BMG mounts. Oh, the Hero Me Gen 7 might actually support that.
Hero Me Gen 7.
But the Hero Me though is like it's a freaking process.
Hey, Steven, glad you're going to enjoy it.
Trying to see if he has like, okay, so over 115 carriages. So he has the SVO5 here. I'm not seeing any of the Solval hot end. So you could get like our tough hot end and like the BMG, like our stuff will bolt up to a Bondtech BMG. So you could change that out. Yeah, I think this would probably be as much as it's a lot of parts to print. But in terms, this would probably, it looks like this would support it. I'm just looking here because I am going to be upgrading my SVO5 very soon. Yeah, I would say probably the Hero Me Gen 7 would be your best bet. I'm not seeing too much aside from that abomination. Again, here's the thing. This would work in a pin. This would work. Okay. Is this something I would do? Not unless I really needed that printer. Okay. But I mean, it does work. It just looks horrible. It's a Frankenstein. But yeah, I would definitely say try out the Hero Me Gen 7. Just know the Gen 7, it's a very complicated thing. You gotta make sure to print the right parts. I think a lot of that needs heat. I think a lot of the Hero Me stuff needs heat set inserts. So, but yeah. Yeah, it's not the Hero Me Gen 7 works. Like the Hero Me system works. I've used them before. They work. They're just a lot to install. That's the downside. Okay, I'm gonna delete that one. Delete that response. The next one is also from Dean. He said he wants to use easy ABL on the SO5. The question is when it's connected to 5-pin header on the main board, what's the order of the pins? No, so you would actually just hook it up to the ZN stop. The software is going to map it to the ZN stop. So you do not use the 5-pin for the easy ABL with the SVO5. Any printers that have a CR Touch stock, you're always going to still use a ZN stop when you disconnect the CR Touch. 3D Experiments is the next one. He says, my brother with the Prusa says he could directly send a G-code file to his printer via Wi-Fi and start the printer. Is there a way for non-Prusa printers running Marlin to do the same? Yeah, you can use something like Octoprint. I think Prusa has a very limited interface for their Wi-Fi. I think it's like an ESP type thing, isn't it?
Connect or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's called Prusa Connect. But the closest thing would be doing, you just do an Octoprint interface. You can send it right to the printer over the network. You do have to start it from the computer, but you can stop and pause it. We use Octoprint on every single printer here. All of our printers, we do not run SD cards on any of our printers. They're all not Wi-Fi. This is actually the only Wi-Fi printer here because it doesn't have Ethernet. Everything else is hardwired. So,
yeah, even Kira
has
a plugin now. So you can send it directly via Kira.
Yeah, I use Prusa Slicer with Octoprint integration. Yeah, Prusa Slicer supports it. We saw them under the brand EasyPi kit, and that's a full kit ready to go. It's only a little bit more than buying all this parts separately, and the benefit is you get a fully ready to go setup Pi kit. You literally plug it in; it's ready to print with. You can also add on the Wi-Fi setup for $5, where we'll program your Wi-Fi network in, so it'll connect. The Pi kit will connect when you get the kit to your in. We have 2 of them left in stock right now. So, but they're $99, and that also includes technical support if you need it. The other thing too is you can use plugins like Octo Everywhere, which I use Octo Everywhere on a few machines here that does like the AI failure detection. So all that fancy shit that the Bamboo printers have that doesn't really work, the AI stuff. Octo Everywhere works with Clipper. It works with Octoprint. And because it works with Octoprint, it does work with our Easy Pie kits. I'm running on a couple of my Easy Pie kits too.
And Octo Everywhere will work with the rooted K1s and K1 Maxes.
Yes, I saw that too.
And I know this because I have it on online.
Yeah, it's nice. I see Armel saying Obiko is good too. I've used Obiko on and off when they were the spaghetti detective, and my problem is they keep rebranding and changing their like focus so many times that it just I'm like, guys, pick a lane and stay in it. Like
Spaghetti Detective was a perfect name for what they did.
It was a perfect name for what they were doing, and it worked for Octoprint. It worked for Clipper. They should have kept that name. Obiko, literally doesn't mean anything. They just thought it sounded cool. Because I asked them, I was like, "What is Obiko?" And they're like, "I don't know. It just sounded cool." I was like, "Why do you have an owl?" Like, I don't know. We like owls. I was like, guys, come on. These are like horrible reasons for completely rebranding your company. Like, I don't know if they just really like
kindergartners running their marketing department. I'd like owls.
I like owls. Well, what does owl have to do with your product? I like owls. I don't know. Keith and them are good guys. It's just I've told them this, like, why do you keep changing things? Like, stick with one brand. Like, Spaghetti Detective was way better of a name than anything else. Okay, so we do have time for a couple more questions. We're at 1 hour and 10 minutes, and then I know Emerson's got a bunch of stuff he'd like to chat about. So you can talk about printers and what you do with your printers and stuff. I'm gonna put you on the spot. You want to be on the stream, motherfucker? Here you are.
I got 4 hours for this.
We got like we cut off at 2 hours, right? 1 hour 11 minutes right now. So Bob asks the next question. He's got for Ender 3 V2 Neo, which firmware is better? Mersoc or Clipper? Mersoc is crap. Mersoc is literally just Marlin. And it's not even that good. We have a lot of his, I think he's charging for it at somewhat like we do. But we have a lot of like customers that try to use it and it doesn't work and they end up using our Unified 2. I don't like Mersoc's firmware because I've had too many issues with it and our customers have a lot of issues with it. If you want a good firmware for your Ender 3 V2 Neo, check out our Unified 2 firmware. It's a hell of a lot easier to use. I think the only benefit of the Mersoc over ours is it's been a while since I've looked at his stuff, but I think he has support for some of the color screens that we don't have support for because there's certain color screens that you can't update. We just tell people to switch out the LCD for 128/64 because there's 4 different color LCDs you can have on the Ender 3 V2 series and the Neo series. So the Ender 3 V2 was the first printer used the rotary encoder with the color screen, and then the V2 Neo has it, and I think the V3 Neo Max or Max Neo has it. I think there's 3 models from Creality that have those. And only 4 of the different screen types they ship with actually are able to be updated. So what's it called? The D-Win and the DocEye screens, those you can update, and we have firmware for those, but there's one called Vue and TJC. I'll pull it up on screen and it'll make a lot of sense. And it's really easy to tell which ones you guys have based on what screen you have. And this is the problem with the color screens is like if Creality had just stuck with one vendor, like the screens are able to be updated and they work really well. But the problem is they keep changing the damn PCB vendor, which then renders the color software update useless on certain screens. Hang on, I'm pulling up the screen share right now. Here we go. So on our website, on our help center here, if you just type DWIN, DWIN, or color LCD, you'll get this article. So the Vue and TJC LCDs are not updatable at all. We actually just built Ender 3 V2, not the Neo, but the Ender 3 V2, same screen as the Neo, for one of our customers last week. Or was it this week? I thought it was this week. He picked it up. So if you have a D1 LCD, your PCB looks like this. If you have a DocEye LCD, it looks like this. These 2 are both updatable. If you have the Vue type, which is like this one, it says like time here and then DX480 something, but you can literally they look significantly different. If you look at the PCBs, that's why we just have pictures of them. like the processors, the board layout. You can see this one, the TJC says TJC on it. So if you have this one, the VUE or the TJC, and you want to use Unified 2 firmware or even just regular Marlin in general, you're going to want to switch it out for 12864. Now, if you have the DWIN, the Dockeye LCD, we do have screen firmware that works with our Unified 2 firmware. I don't know if our screen firmware that I got from David over at Sandy Automation, he's the one who made that package for us, which is why it's co-branded. So when you turn it on, you'll see Sandy Automation's logo and TH3D. I don't know if that works with regular Marlin. We're going to find out because Marlin just pushed an update, and I'm going to be pushing forward with some major updates to our software in the next month here. So, yeah. So basically, if you have one of these color screens where it's got the rotary knob and the color screen, if you have these two types, you can update the firmware and keep that screen. If you have the VUE and the TJC, you're not going to be able to update this, and you're very limited on your firmware options then. And that Mercerk one is literally, I think they target like just a couple of models, whereas, we're targeting like 30 something models of printers. So, all right, let's see if we have any more Q&A submissions here. Give me 1 second here. Is that it? Does anybody have any more questions? Bueller? Anyone? If you guys do, submit a thing there. Come on. You want to. You want to. Come on. I think we'll do a little ad break here. How's that?
Hi there, Frank George here. As a doctor, I know a thing or two about probing. Indeed I do. I love something that's easy to install, easy to use, and backed by a real support team. And that's why I choose TH3D Easy ABL Kit for my 3D printers. I prefer not to waste countless hours trying to figure out how to connect things to my machine when I could be printing instead. With the TH3D Easy ABL, you get technical support, easy to use firmware, quality parts, amazing accuracy, and there's no moving parts. What are you waiting for? Head over to their site at easyabl.th3dstudio.com and get one today. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy printing. The Easy ABL kit is meant for 3D printer usage only, not for medical or rectal use.
What?
Where did that come from?
Have you not seen that?
No.
I paid a guy on Fiverr to make that for us like 3 years ago. Am I going to look in Polly? Yes, I will. I've been busy. I have a company to run. I haven't had time to tinker with the Sonic Pad. I want to, though. David Hefner is asking, Ender 3 V3 KE unboxing. I don't know. Hey, how long are you being in town for, Emerson?
I did Sunday, unless we can get Sarah's mom to hang on to the kids for an extra day, then maybe we can do Monday.
I mean, like Sunday, if we're up for it, maybe we could do the KE. That's a clipper printer.
Ooh, yes, I'm all for that then.
It's the V3 KE. It's like that 270 clipper printer. Okay, we'll see. We'll see how we're feeling because we are having a LAN party. That's why he's in town. Him and his wife are in town, and we usually go until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see.
We got 3 cases of balls.
We have 6 actually. We have 6 cases of balls.
Even better. We can sleep next week.
A solid ad read. I was watching your face. You guys couldn't see his face, but I can see his face on the when we're in the background and there's a video player or something. We can still see each other on the left side, and I just see him like watching the ad, like dying. Yeah, he's not a real doctor, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's a disclaimer in there. Okay. Let's see. We do have a couple other questions. So Peter Anderson, can you give us some highlights on the new Marlin release? So I haven't actually looked at it. We can look at it right now. Let's see. Let's take a look at the new Marlin release. Because I know Scott has spent a ton of time. It's marlinfirmware.org. I went to .com and somebody squatted that domain name. So let's see. I'm going to share this here.
I heard.
All right, so let's see the Marlin GitHub page. Let's see. So this is a maintenance release. So our current firmware is like a hybrid of 2.1.2 and 2.1.2.1. So they have here add thermistor 14 used for Ender 5 S1. That's weird. Maybe maybe we coded that in. I mean, mine's been printing fine with the standard thermistor definitions. Okay, let's see. Raise top temperature to 320C for thermistor 1. Oh, that's for that's for the oh, sorry. That's for the high temp one. So we actually did that. We already implemented that in our firmware because we have 320C thermistors we sell that are for thermistor 1. Fix quick homing. That's not stuff. That's not stuff that'll matter. Improve support for machines without X, Y, Z, E axes. Interesting. Fix fan software PWM and init. Fix inverted fan state. A lot of weird fixes here. Fix filament change item position with or without encoder. Update the FTDI. Eve Touch UI. Update the DWIN icon graphics files. Okay, so I wonder if they have, if they've done more stuff with the color screens. I do have some of those unsupported screens sitting in my bin too. So if we can revisit them and get them supported, I will. The problem is they haven't been. I have a DocEye, I have a DWIN, and I think I have a TJC or a Vue. Someone gave me one. Improve platform INI feature filters. This, as somebody who works on the code, means they probably changed a lot of the settings. So,
yay!
Okay, so we've renamed pins.
So if you wonder why you have to pay Tim for software, this is why.
Yeah, there's a lot of configuration changes here. I'm just looking for stuff that would affect us here. Replace disable inactive with simple switches. Replace default stepper and deactive time with default stepper timeout seconds. Replace disable inactive extruder with disable other extruders. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, I looked through it when he posted it on Twitter, and I didn't see anything too wild. The only thing that I was really curious about was the DWIN thing.
Where's 2.1.2? 0.1. Here's 2.1.1, 2.1.1.1, 2.1.0.1. Where's 2. Oh, wait, here it is, 2.1.21. So the stuff in this would also get carried over because we're on 2.1.2. But like this, this has been implemented on here. This has been implemented on here. This has been implemented. Like they broke configs for our easy boards. I fixed them in ours. A lot of the stuff that we have in our firmware, or in a lot of machines we have supporting our firmware, are not going to be affected by a lot of the stuff that they do. They do update, but here 2.1.2.1 also has linear advanced issues in certain cases fixed. So maybe LA will work a little bit better.
I know he talked about input shaping, but I didn't see anything.
I don't see anything in here. Let's see, improvements, various simple fixes. Let's see. Oh, I think I've already fixed this one. Yeah, there's a lot of like, I'll go through and look and see what the releases are. When you click these, it'll take you to the commit or the pull request where the bug report, where the issue or changes took place. So then I can modify those and roll them into our code without having to update the whole entire code base. A lot of times we can do that. And we do that like in place patches without doing major updates. The reason we haven't gone to 2.1.2.1 was because there were a lot of bugs in 2.1.2.1. Because you can see like actually 2.1.2.1 was a fairly major update. And like we know the build we're on is very stable. So basically what happens is when the new Marlin release comes out, we start testing it internally. We do the code, we merge the code in. we go ahead and then start testing internally on our own machines. We try to test it for at least a week or two, running print jobs on it, testing all the features. I have a machine with a BL Touch that we test to make sure the BL Touch code's working. We have a machine running a 2560 CPU to make sure the 8-bit boards that we support, which is only a few of them, still work. You know, we do actually internally test it. So that's the reason why we won't be always on the bleeding edge of whatever Marlin has, because usually the bleeding edge of Marlin usually has bugs in it. You know, so, but right now it's kind of a good point because we're not planning on any new printers soon to the firmware. Are you just touching? Are you just playing with your Panda Touch?
I am playing with Panda Touch.
I see your P1's light just strobing in there. Those are that's got our light kit in there, doesn't it? Because there's like those lights are bright as shit. My light is not bright. Like you can see the lights on right now. You can see it on Emerson's thing, like Emerson down there. You can see like the lights.
It's only
there.
on that left side, and it's not great. These are
I mean, I'll show right now.
And we've already had a few customers message us back. It's like, oh my god, these are.
I know, yeah. The lighting kits have been a big hit. I've actually just been this thing's been printed. I'll probably put it in my next week, but the install process for the X1 and the P1 they're the same. So Tor put together.
Plug in.
Yeah.
The new lights and route the wiring.
So it's not terrible, but like it's not that even. So here, this is what my X1 looks like. I will say though, the camera quality on this is dog shit. There's no way it's 1080p, and this is local. Like, look how pixelated this is. Like, do you see how pixelated this is? Like, this is not the compression. Like, you can see how sharp all this is. So, like, this is not going to be pixelated, but look how crappy this camera is. This is literally going from my computer to the access point that's 20 feet away from the printer right to this. The camera quality is dog shit. Like,
pull up one of the enders to compare. Yeah,
so like I'll pull up. I don't think we have any enders running right now because it's Friday and we already printed all the stuff we need. But yeah, let me just for comparison here. Let me pull up one of our printers.
Yeah, David, I was telling him the same. If he upgrades his lights to our lighting kit, it's going to look a lot better on camera.
Yeah, no, I've been using it to print stuff. So like, let's see. So these are all of our printers here. So if I pull this up here, let's switch over. I don't think I'm checking I don't think I'm running print jobs on any of the other ones. No, I'm not right now. So here, let me pull up the stream here, and I'll turn this on. Octoprint's loading. So this is our camera with just the room lighting, and I just told the printer, or tell the printer to turn on. Like, and then we have the lights in here. Like, this is way clearer. This is our Easy Cam, which is a 1080p camera as well. Here, I'll even like turn the lights off in the room here so we can like compare here. I gotta open the Orca Slicer again. But like, so here's our printer. I'm gonna turn the lights off in the room here. So I'm gonna turn the shop lights off. There we go.
Tim's trying to woo me.
So there's the Easy Cam with just the printer lights. It's just got the Easy Neos. Now move the head down. We'll home it. Still a heck of a lot clearer than the BAM. Also a lot higher frame rate. And this is just a $50 camera. So
I get half a frame a second.
Yeah, that's 30 frames. And I think this is only 720p. All our pies are set to 720p. We're not even running it at the full resolution. Whereas so like
I use the 7. Well, I don't think they sell them anymore, but back when they were like $17 at Micro Center, you could get the Wisecam V2s, and you could put the webcam firmware on them, and that's what almost all my printers have. And those, even those shitty cameras look better than that Bamboo Lab one. But I finally got one of your cameras on my Solval, and yeah, it's I was
like
very surprised.
Like this. I don't know why this isn't a super high quality stream. This is literally just on the local network. Like, why is
I hope somebody comes out with a camera kit for it.
Yeah. Well, the problem is the software has to support it.
True.
If the software is not going to support it, or they're limiting the bit rate, like I'll take low frame rate over pixelation. I'd rather have a higher quality. Like if you even have a 1 frame or you said half a frame second, that's probably fine for monitoring prints.
Yeah, actually, here's mine. Screen, I understand.
Door joined. Yeah, see, yours looks way better than mine. Yeah, the frame rate's ass, but yours is so much clearer than mine. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's 720p at half a frame a second.
That is so much clearer than mine.
Why is there such a major difference? Is there a setting you're
Is it
missing in there?
serious? No, it's set to 1080.
There is no
I have
settings.
I have mine set to 1080. You have 720p or 1080. Mine's set to 1080. Yours is way clearer than mine. Tor, since you have it up, what are you printing? And why?
I'm actually printing a little nano lead that I'll be installing this weekend because my lights are coming.
And you want to explain what those are? That is coming. Is that our Frost ABS? It looks like our Frost.
This is a mixture of our Frost ABS, if it will.
Hang on. There, I got you. There.
This is our Frost ABS and a mixture of Enigma as well, because I wanted to see if that will glow after the fact.
Oh yeah. The glow in the dark stuff. Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. That would look kind of cool. So
It's gonna go up right.
But look at why is your picture so much clearer than mine?
You're just so pissed. I love it.
I just
am
got the
pissed.
best.
He's got the cheap printer.
better
I got the fucking Cadillac. It better come on.
Once you
why
want to
is
see
my
the difference.
print rate so low?
Yeah, I want to see the difference once you install the lighting kit.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do that next week. I've just, like I said, I have it doing bitch work now. I was like, damn it, I paid for this printer. I'm gonna make it make me some money. Damn it, it needs to earn its keep, just like all these enders. Okay, it's probably gonna be like, I need a break. That's too dang bad. You're gonna print all this crap. Our customers want parts. You're gonna do it. So
There's a thing that's going to pop up on the screen saying it needs a latte break.
oh, I didn't know I worked for Starbucks. All right, so we do have a couple other questions in the queue here. Bob asks, is there much difference between PLA and PLA Plus, and what about Silk PLA? So here's the thing. While there are some manufacturers that do actually have additives in their PLA Plus, for the most part, there is no actual defined standard for what PLA Plus fucking means. And a lot of manufacturers, especially the US manufacturers or people that use higher quality resin, their regular PLA will be better quality than other companies' PLA Plus. Like, for example, all of our filaments, we probably could classify them as PLA Plus because they're all using high quality colors. They're all using high quality resin. Like all the resin for our PLAs and stuff is all from the US. Even though the filaments extrude in China, it's all US resin. It's marketing wank is really what it is for the most part. Like,
I think the only company who's really done testing for their filaments like that is
It's like Polymaker. Yeah. And then Silk PLAs are just shiny filament. I had a test print, but I actually gave one to a customer that stopped by.
A lot of them are PLA with TPU.
Like a TPU. Yeah, I've heard that. But yeah, so here's the thing for PLA and PLA Plus, you guys really shouldn't give a shit. It's marketing wink. It doesn't mean just because you buy a PLA Plus doesn't mean you're going to get a better quality filament all the time. It really doesn't. More sticking with what brands, like literally at this point, unless I have these are all just random plastics I've had sitting around for years. I don't print anything but Polymaker or our brand at this point anymore. Like Polymaker and our Spaghetti and our Easy Choice, those are the 3 filament brands I print because I know they work all the time. That's also why that's what we sell. Like we really aren't looking at other filament companies because between Polymaker and our stuff, we have almost all the bases covered for the stuff that people print with. 3X says, is the latest Marlin getting any easier to configure from scratch? You're supposed to be implementing a single config file like Clipper. As far as I know, they're still just as complicated. I know Scott's working towards it, like that being like a single config file. But I'm assuming that's going to be a ways out. Marlin still has his place. Marlin isn't going anywhere because the fact is not a lot of people want to mess with Clipper. The only real thing I like with Clipper is when you have printers that are pre-set up with it. And I was thinking about this when I was messing with the Bamboo and stuff. I was like, this printer has a ton of cool features that would be really hard to implement aftermarket. But when you have a printer that's designed from the ground up with these cool features built into it, it makes it really easy to do software for because it's been designed for it. You're not trying to bodge stuff on. Yeah, I mean, I see some advantages with decent input shaping. There'd be nothing wrong with Marlin. We have input shaping in Marlin. We run it on all of our printers here, and it works great. The funny thing is, we actually have SBCs on all of our SBCs on every single printer. We could convert our entire print farm without changing any hardware over to Clipper if we wanted to, but we don't want to because it works. We use Octoprint for the web controller, network controller, and then we use Marlin. I might at some point switch over one stack to Clipper. And the nice thing is, if we did find a really good config that worked and like tuned it really well, we could just copy and paste it to all the machines because they're all built the same. But right now it works. Like our printers are reliable. We get good quality prints on them. We are running input shaping. All of basically almost every single print, I think for one that's up and running right now, has our control boards in them too. So I think two of our Sovols, the SVO1s have our V1 board in it, and I think our SVO1 Pro has the E3 free runs from Creality in it because we were testing the firmware, and I just left it in there. So let's see.
Great looking print.
3 Square says, "Do we have the Unified 2 for the SVO5?" Yeah, we do. It's on our site. It's part of the Sovol V4X package because it does use the Creality V4 export. I'll post that in the chat. So yeah, and that's when you can just install in there. You don't need any special hardware upgrades. It's literally just the firmware.
Tim, check out the chat. It does make a big difference.
For what?
For the Bamboo lighting kits on the X1.
What am I looking for? Oh, Dave said extra light make a huge difference. Okay, well, hopefully I'll be less. The only thing is it's pixelated, so I don't know if maybe it's just doing that because of the low light. But yeah, I'll get it on there tomorrow, on next week. So next week I'll be showing you guys what it looks like different on there. I know it made a huge difference on tours. So Jay Char says, "Do you have to stir/shake the bed cement on occasion? Does it separate?" No, it doesn't. It doesn't separate. It doesn't hurt to shake it. If you want to shake it, go ahead. But it's all the stuff, all the ingredients that go into the alcohol and water base get dissolved into it. But no, if you want to shake it, go ahead. It'll be fine. And just because we have one here, this is how you guys take the cap off.
Yeah, what you should do is unscrew to take the cap off.
So we have people. So you have to, when you get this, you do have to unscrew it to remove the seal from here. But if you guys are having a hard time taking the cap off, twist it clockwise and pull at the same time. And if you have a hard time getting the cap off, you can just kind of put it back on. You don't have to push it all the way on. When we do it, we push it on like this, but you can pull it off. It does get easier to take off. Why are you over there making looks? Did you spill your bed cement? No.
I'm just imagining someone pulling the cap off and tipping, and just the whole thing going all over the
That was a ticket we got this week. That was a ticket we got this week. I'm not even kidding.
Have I had any reports of the lids cracking? I haven't. This bottle has been refilled like 3 times. This is like one we use for our printers in here. I haven't had this crack, but even if this cracks, it really doesn't matter. Like once you prime the tip up again, it's going to re-moisturize the stuff that's in the tip.
Well, and it's got the spring-loaded tip. So let me.
You want to touch my tip?
Just the tip, Tim. Just like high school, just the tip. Yeah, it's got the little spring load in there. So even if you didn't have a cap, once you push that in and tilt it, it's like Tim said, it's going to re-wet. So
yeah,
if you're worried
it
about
might
it
take a
drying up,
sec.
it won't. Yeah, it might take a sec to.
It will dry. It will dry, but you can just basically, if you just dab it on the bed over and over again and move it, the liquid.
Yeah.
Use the bottle as well if you're not getting any out.
It won't dry the contents out because it's got that spring-loaded nipple on it.
Yeah.
Combination.
So I see Bob is asking, is the Unified 2 compatible with the Ender 3 V2 Neo? It is, but if you have a non-compatible LCD, you will need to change the LCD screen out. And we do have a kit. I think it's like $30 for the LCD, the bracket, and the cables. to convert that.
30 HP said he did that with a bottle of magic goo.
Yeah. Well, so here's the problem is like we need to have a seal like to ship these correctly. We need to have a seal, and we have a machine that actually melts the seal onto the bottle. So we have to have we have to have by nature, then we have to have a thing that unscrews so you can take the seal and put it back in. But then we also have to have a cap to protect the tip so it doesn't like get all dried out and stuff, right? Like, so it has to be a 2-part cap. So like, I don't really know the better way of doing it. I haven't found any better bottles that have the same felt tips, because someone suggested like the bingo daubers, and the problem with the bingo daubers, they're foam. The ones we use are fabric. It's not a foam. The foam disintegrates. We tested the foam ones. They disintegrates. It gets all over. Then it starts breaking apart, gets all over the bed. They don't hold up. The fabric will eventually get worn through after a certain point, but it keeps working. Whereas the foam is just gone and it gets stuck all over your bed. That's the reason why we can't use like the bingo dauber type containers.
It's like,
it's
like trying to clean a cheese grater.
Yeah.
Before we even
especially on the
released
texture
the
bed.
bed, I tested like a dozen different dabbers and rollers and all sorts of things, and the fabric ones that we're selling now work the best.
Yeah, we tested it. Like we got really into it. So Bob asks if you want to check your LCD to see if you can just get the software and update it. Check that link I just posted in the chat, the color LCD. If you have a D-Win or DOCI, you can just update it. If you don't, you're going to want to swap the LCD out. And this is for our software. Like I said, there might be other, there's a lot of other people that make, they're not usually businesses. They're usually just like one-off community members that make software. Hang on. I can't type and talk. There's 3V2. I'm grabbing a link for the LCD kit. While some of them will support the stock LCDs, you also are going to be limited by what that stock LCD can display. So there is a benefit to going to the 12864 over keeping the stock one, even if you have found a firmware that works with it, because it's not going to be able to fully take over the LCD and do what it needs. Whereas the color screens that can be updated, our firmware completely can take over that screen and draw whatever we want on there, get different menu options that aren't present on the stock one, that kind of thing. So, and the problem is with the LCDs, we originally were looking at trying to like develop a more universal firmware for the color LCDs, but then Creality started releasing another hardware version and another hardware version. And we're like, I can't keep spending all this time, trying to play catch up with all these different LCD versions when I give it like a year or more, or a year or less, and Creality's probably gonna have another version of a color LCD, and it's still not going to work with this firmware. And then we're having to redo it stuff. And the problem is they don't open source the code for those color screens. So it's all reverse engineering and screwing around, and it's a lot of time. I think DJ is talking about our bed cement. Our bed cement is $11.99 for a 50 milliliter bottle, which is a smaller one. And the full size one is 100 milliliters. It is over 50% less, I think, unless last time I looked at Vision Miner's pricing, which is, we like Vision Miner. It works well. It's just expensive. And we used Vision Miner. We sold Vision Miner for a while. The problem is, even at cost, they were really expensive. And I hated their bottles. They literally used like vape juice type bottles, and they gave you a little crappy brush to brush it on. My thing is,
I hated the brushes. That's my main issue.
Yeah. So my goal of making the bed cement was, one, address the application. Like I wanted a bottle that has a built-in applicator, and two, the price. So I wanted something that was cheaper, that worked just as well for all the common materials that we print with. So ABS, PLA, PETG, TPE, TPUs, nylons, that kind of stuff. So better product bottle and something that's cheaper. And that's what we did. All right, see. Yeah, my son said, be careful filling your vape. Yeah, I had a guy that worked for me. I used to vape. I never accidentally put Vision Miner in my vape, but one of my guys that worked for me, he used what's called a dripper, so it doesn't have a tank, and you just literally drip the juice onto the wicks and the coils, and it had a little bit of liquid reserve. And I was out here working on a printer. I just hear him go, I hear him hit the vape, and I hear him go, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? He's like looking at me. He's holding the Vision Miner bottle. I was like, you did not. He's like, I did. I was like, oh my God. So then he started storing the Vision Miner bottles on top of the printer enclosure and not on his desk. um, um, so Emerson, since you're our guest here, do you want to tell people how you got into printing and what you use printing for professionally and personally? And just go ahead. I'm going to give you the floor here for a little bit to ramble away.
Well, like I said earlier, we originally got an Ender 3 for my stepson, who, like many things, it had no interest, and so we just started messing with it, Sarah and I, and then I used to be big into my family. My dad has a power sports shop that I'm now working for him after my issues with a company I'm no longer allowed to mention. But
Pepsi?
I didn't say that.
You
I
didn't
didn't
say
say that.
Pepsi.
I didn't say that. So we used to be big into, or at least I used to be big into side by sides. And there's if anybody who knows Michigan and off roading, there's a really big off roading community there because we have thousands of miles of trails. And there's a town called St. Helen, Interstate 75 exit 222, riding groups, all this stuff. And I got the random idea one day to design hitch covers. And I replicated the interstate exit sign for that and started printing them. And then that quickly blew up into what was my next one, the Ender 5 Plus. I had that, and that's actually how I found. I don't remember exactly how I found you, Tim. I think I found you through forums, because I was trying to do M600s on that Ender 5, and well, you can't with that stupid ass touchscreen. And then somehow along the way, I found out about Tim's
Yep.
board and the screen replacement, and that was my first of lots of purchases with Tim at this point. But now I've got 3 Ender 3s. They all have Tim's dual Z kits on them, the tough hot ends, the tough extruders, his easy mats, the what are these things called, the multi-mount.
Yeah, you got those.
Pretty much everything that Tim makes for those.
Did you get new boards for your Solvals yet after the stock ones took a shit?
Jesus Christ, no. Actually, I need a new board for that, because I've part of my fleet are 2 Solvals after Tim got them, and I was like, wow, actually those seem like really nice ones. Well, there was someone local who was getting rid of 4, so I bought 2 of his, and I got the one home, and the board
What did you
died.
pay him for? What did you pay for him?
Not far under MSRP, but they weren't
They're
used.
basically new.
Yeah. So I didn't mind paying new, and I didn't have to, drive or wait. But so one of them died almost immediately. Like 2 prints in, the board died. Well, I had one of Tim's boards already. That's in that now, and then the other one just died recently. But yeah, so I've got 3 Ender 3s. I've got an Ender 5 Plus that's converted with the Mercury 1.1. That's in pieces right now because my dumbass decided, hey, let's try out CAN bus. That was an absolutely horrid idea. CAN bus is great if you're not printing in an enclosure. It's awesome, but
I've
not
had
for
such
anything.
issues with trying to get Canvas working.
I got it work. I actually got it. It works perfect until you start printing ABS, and then when that enclosure gets hot and the board gets hot, you start getting communication errors and it drops out. I've got
ABS.
Yeah, and then that's all that Ender 5 Plus prints is car parts. I'm have a verbal contract with the company. I make parts for this company that makes custom Corvette stuff, and so that my Voron 2.4 that I built last year, that prints the car parts. I have, if anybody's ever heard of Exo Slides, I made one of his a couple years back, the Exo Cube. Mine's like a Frankenstein between the V3 and the V4, which is they're pretty neat for what they are. the owner of the company is actually a really nice guy. It's just kind of like Tim, just a small business, super nice guy. He he I was well out of warranty and he still replaced some of my Exo slides. He found out after the fact he had some production errors that were causing them to break in certain spots, and he replaced them with new versions. That printer is also in pieces because thank God I didn't finish the process of converting that one to CAN bus, but I was on the way of doing that. So I got to put that one back together. And then I have my 2K1s, my K1 Max, and then what do I got? I got 4 resin printers. I can't remember what the hell those are. Those just print the shafts for the hitch covers now. And Tim, I sent Tim one. I know he featured it on a stream a while back. I made him a
Yeah, I have it. You literally that showed up like the day, 2 days after I actually got a hitch to put in my trailer, like thing. So I like the ball. I actually picked up like the ball. And so I haven't put in there only because I leave the ball hitch in there. So if someone goes behind me, they get the ball hitch instead of my bumper.
It's all fun and games though till you trip over the damn thing like I did the other night. But yeah, Jay Trower said I got an E5P Exo slide upgrade. Yeah, and he's got a pretty interesting. I haven't had one, but he's got an Exo slide or Exo extruder or whatever he calls it, which is looks pretty interesting. I wish I could remember the guy's name, but just a super nice guy, really great support, really cool, interesting product. You know, it's kind of like what's his name said, Bamboo shook up the industry. I mean, maybe they're not as popular, but I think they were a really great idea and a good alternative to the V wheels. Other than the cracking issues, which I really didn't even know I had cracking issues until I took it apart to do some maintenance and just happened to notice they had some cracks in them. But the newer versions with the better plastic, those have come off a couple times just because he wanted me to make sure that those weren't cracking, and I haven't had any issues since. I love those things. But and then I've got a plasma CNC. I cut signs and stuff like that. That was eventually that'll make more mainstream, but right now that's been just kind of a toy. Because after my accident, we got that right before my accident, so I haven't really had a chance to play with that. You're on mute this time, but yeah, it's it's
Oh,
nice
sorry.
not
I said it was weird seeing you without your cane.
yeah, it's nice not having a cane and looking like an 80-year-old man in my late 30s, but yeah, that's how I got into printing, and that's how I met Tim, was fixing that shitty touchscreen on that Ender 5 Plus. And you know, I started off with Marlin and then Tim's version of Marlin. And my reason for going to Clipper was because I don't leave shit alone. I constantly mess with it, and that's where I think Clipper shines is when you're someone who likes to constantly mess with your printers. When you're changing hot ends or hot end types or extruder types, it's nice to be able to open the config file, change a line, and boom,
You
you're
say
done.
mess with, I say break things unnecessarily.
Well, then I'll rip all your shit off and put the stock stuff back on. How about that? But now at this point for me, it's workflow. I'm used to the Clipper workflow. I
Oh
don't think
yeah,
I
I
could
get
go
that.
back to Marlin. So, and not because I think Clipper is better than Marlin. Like Tim
No, I
said many
totally
times,
get.
they have their
Well,
places.
the reason why I stuck with Simplify 3D so long was because I didn't want to change my damn workflow. Like that's a very real thing.
So long to get Tim
Like,
to switch.
I'm glad I switched, but there is a very real thing of like, you know, trying to get everything moved over and trying to like, you know, bang out a job real quick. Like, oh, I just got to slice this, and I'm like, oh, I got to learn where the hell is this setting, where the hell is that setting. But now it took me a good 6 months to get off of Simplify 3D and over to Prusa Slicer. And I got to play with Orca Slicer a little bit more. I'm going to play with it. I'm using Orca Slicer for my Bamboo. I'm not using theirs. I right now have Prusa Slicer installed for all my printers except for the Bamboo So yeah.
See, we use Orca for the K1s because that seems to print better for some reason than Prusa. I don't quite understand it, but we still have to use Prusa for doing the color changes because it's easier to just scroll up to the layer,
Yeah.
click the button, and that's it. But I'm kind of the same way with Super Slicer, and I'm glad the dev came back and decided to go back at it. But I was like,
that's why I didn't. I was between Super Slicer and Prusa Slicer, and I didn't go with Super Slicer because I saw like the messages and people are like, "Yeah," the dev was like, "Yeah, I'm done" or something. And I was like, "Okay, well, this project is dead. I'm not putting my eggs in this basket."
yeah, and he ended up,
So,
supposedly from what he said, he quit his job. But I looked at it like I'm running Super Slicer till it's so broken it won't work anymore because I'm not learning something new all over
that's
again.
how I mean, that's how I was. That's how I was with S3D. Here's the thing: S3D is old. It doesn't have all the latest features, but my version 4 still works. It still generates good G code. I think Krista's still using my V4 license. I think I'm going to get her switch over to Prusa Slice. I do have profiles for the SV06 and her Ender 2 Pro. Like I've got basically a good base direct drive profile, and I have a good Bowden profile. So I have basically enough where I can set up a printer, change the bed size, make sure starting G code matches the printer, and you can run a print and it'll come out pretty good. And then basically fine tune it. Maybe I got to change the retraction a little bit. Maybe this printer needs like 1 millimeter retraction. Maybe this one needs 1.5. You know what I mean? Like little tweaks and tunes. But I have profiles where it gets you like 99% of the way there. So when we have a new printer, that needs to be supported and we need a print profile for, I have something that I can slap together really quick and just bang a print out and it comes out pretty good. I mean, I've done it on streams before where I just, it's like, oh, this printer's so enough. Like for example, I've got a Microswiss NG on my Ziltech gear and I just did an Ender 5 Plus build with one for a customer in Ender 5 build and I just used that profile for his printer. I changed the bed size and I sent him the profiles, like here's your profiles, and I just changed the bed size, changed the name of it, and the thing is I know that profile's dialed in and it's the same exact extruder even though it's on a different printer. That's the main thing that makes the difference, right, is your print quality, is your extruder setup, for the most part.
And Aaron B 1980, I'm very opinionated. If I think something's shit, I don't care if they're sitting behind me. I'll let them know it's shit. The bed cement actually it's a really good product. It's great. We got a bottle.
You did. You guys came and raided my shop when you got here. Like,
well,
we
bought we bought a bottle. Well, beforehand though, and we've used the shit out of it. I love it. It's great. So yeah, we did. That's the first thing I did. I was like, hey Tim, and went right to the shelves. I'm like, all right, I need this. UPS taking that
basket.
Yeah, he was excited. He literally went over to the pallet. I think we've got like 13 or 14 of the UPSs left. And he literally I see him walking away from the pallet with one of the boxes, like, oh, you're grabbing one of those, are you? So yeah, I have 2 of those hooked up in my house now. They're both on my main computers. And I'm gonna be changing out the one in the I have one that a customer sent back that he said was broken. I got it, of course. It worked fine. So I'm going to use that down in my my theater room because I can't sell it as new. So the guy was like, well, I just want a different one. Like, fine, I'll send you out a different one. I was going to steal one for myself anyways. I don't care if I have one that a customer sent back. So but yeah, so if you guys do want the battery backups, whatever we have, that's it. We're not ordering any more. So whatever we have on the site, if you guys want to check those out, if you guys are not aware of those, we have battery backups at retail for over $450. They are open box. We've opened every single one. They're older stock that we've opened and tested, and we're warranting them for a year. The reason they're expensive is they're pure sine wave Unix. The housings are all metal. They're not plastic. They are really good battery backups. And the thing is too, if the batteries, because the warranty covers the unit itself, we're not warranting the batteries because they are older. You should still get a couple years out of the batteries, if not more. And let's say even the batteries die, a year from now or 6 months from now, they're only $45 for a new set of batteries. And I made a video on how to switch them out. Out of like the 200 plus units we tested, we had 2 out of those 200 units that had bad batteries. So
we also had 2 people report site faults that they found out because of the UPS.
You were one of them. Yeah, we had a guy, Rotor's like, it's reporting SF. I was like, I haven't seen that error code. So we looked up a manual, and SF stands for site fault. Tor didn't have ground on the outlet, all his printers were on.
Pulling that outlet out, I was like, oh.
Yeah, there's actually been a couple reviews. I think there's 4 reviews on here. Yeah, one of them, SDL3 says easy to connect for the first time. Win 10 app installed, no problem. Here's the thing: you don't need their app. It does work with the default Windows app. He said it initially displayed SF on the status panel, which indicated a wiring fault in my house. It was correct. When I pulled the outlet from the wall, the ground wire was not connected. My APC, which Liebert replaced, did not detect this. So
David,
yeah, they're really nice units. I'll tell you right now, as somebody who has a bunch of like the more basic battery backups, it was really hard for me to not pull a ton of them and start switching everything out. But then I'd be like, what am I gonna do with all these other units I have sitting around? So, but yeah, I think we have 13 left in stock right now. So, and those ship free if you're in the contiguous US. If you're outside the contiguous US, shipping's probably expensive. They weigh 33 pounds a unit. The batteries are quite heavy. It's got 2 10 amp hour Hitachi batteries in them. So they're really good batteries, which is probably why that it doesn't matter. They're older. That's probably why we only had 2 out of 200 that were bad, because they are really high end batteries. Like just those batteries alone are right around $30 a unit on Mauser, I think.
I have 2 of them. They're running both printers, and they're also backing up my.
Do you have your fish tank on one?
I do have the fish tank on it.
Well, and you have tons of power issues. You've been getting I think you said when you ran your P1 on it, you got like 30 something minutes of runtime running ABS.
About 45 for the ABS, and just about over an hour with PLA.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Wait, really? An hour with PLA? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
I knew 30 minutes for the ABS, but shit, an hour for PLA, that's impressive. Yeah, that's damn good. So, yeah. But yeah, if you guys want to check them out, they're really good units. They're still an active SKU that Liebert's or Vertiv is still selling. So, and for you nerds, they do have a management card slot, and you can get those management cards used on eBay for anywhere from like $30 to $40. So if you want to have it like on your network, and then have SNMP support, they do have an actual slot. These are actually enterprise grade, units. Apparently Comet just peed in the house with no warning. I was like, well, you probably weren't paying attention. You probably had to go out.
At least it wasn't my dog, thank God.
No, it wasn't your dog. He probably
Wait,
got
did
overexcited.
he squat or did he lift? Is he a squatter now?
He squatted. No, he wasn't trying to mark. If he lifted, like, yeah, but yeah. All right, we are at the 2-hour mark. You guys have anything else to do or talk about, I should say?
Good.
No.
I'm pretty excited for the unboxing now.
Get my lights.
Yeah, maybe I'll make you do. I'll just sit back there drinking a beer.
I'm just printing out a new stand for the Panda Touch, so I don't have to mount it on the.
Yeah, I am gonna after the stream. I'm gonna take pictures of this and put these on the site. So, like I said, these I'll put on the site. The colors of the handles will vary because we're just gonna use up whatever ABS we have left. I have tons of random colors that I've been collecting, and I need to put them to use. So, all right. See, Aaron, when are you going to trick out an SVO7 Plus? We don't have a Plus. We do have an SVO7 that John from Tripod's Garage sent me. We could do that. So I have 2 clipper machines that are in the box, Emerson. We have the SVO7, and we also have the E3 V3KE. So John sent me the SVO7 because he hated it so much. That's why I have it.
Well, is that one clipper or is the
No, it's clipper. It's the Soval SVO7. Here, I'll share the screen here. Not gonna lie, I hate mine too. Yeah, so they're both about the same price. I don't like how this looks. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I don't like the
that
design.
hot end setup.
No, it looks
massive.
weird. It does have the giant fan on the back for the airflow.
I think Uncle Jesse said he just turned his off, or that might have been another printer. But those big like curtain fans at the back.
So I have.
It's no
What do you
different
guys want?
than the side fans on the K1s. I just
Yeah.
don't. Why do you have a jet engine on the side of my printer to blow the damn printer off the plate? I don't get it.
Because they saw the Vorons doing it. Okay. This says it has a mean well.
So does Creality. That doesn't mean anything.
I'm just saying. I do like lighting to see your prints. What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to see? The SVO7 or the E3V3KE? Say that 10 times fast.
Cool. The site is working right now that I see. I'm on it right now, clicking through things. David, I just whipped up a quick.
Here's our website. I'm not logged in. Here's our
touch.
website. Also, if you guys want to see what we have that's new, you can sort by latest, and it will show you what our latest stuff. Oh yeah, I'm going to show this. We stocked a bunch of used stuff. So there's a Chiron board. I got some of the Creality 2.2 and 2.1 boards, and some of the V2.2 or V422 and 427 boards. This is actually just like, this was a customer return. The guy couldn't figure out how to do software. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, also I have listings here for the different EasyFlex Pro plate sizes, which we should be getting in about 3 to 4 weeks. So if you guys want to add these to your cart, or not your cart, add these to your wish list, you can get notified when we stock stuff. Why are these like all different sizes? I gotta check something here because these are like all different sizes on this. Like something with our theme is not playing nice.
Blame Krista. It's all Krista's fault.
Well, she doesn't do anything on there. But yeah. Oh, also because people ask me, so like especially with filament, because those go in and out of stock. We do have a filter by stock status on the site. So if you click this and hit apply, it will actually filter out anything that's not in stock. So when you're browsing, you can see everything we have that's on the shelf and ready to go. We actually have a lot of filament. So this is everything that's in stock and ready to ship. So yeah, check it out. And again, if you're in the contiguous US, so basically everywhere in the US except for Hawaii and Alaska, it's any order over $60, including filament, ships free. So all right. Anything else before we wrap this up? I see people see E3V3KE. Come on, let me see. Can I do the cloud bot here?
I see more for the SVO7.
Oh, I didn't scroll. SVO7. Okay. Let's see here. I do not have any discount codes right now at this time. It's been a slow marketing week. Yeah, Mike, your order went through. What'd you get? I see the order. I'm assuming based on the order value, he probably got a battery backup.
He did. I saw it pop up on stream while you were looking through the site.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I think that's about it. Yeah. Oh, we do have, if you guys, I think it's a $25 threshold. If you guys have at least, I'm gonna double check here. If you guys have at least $25 worth of stuff in your cart, you should get discounts. I'm looking here. Hang on. I'm trying to see which ones are active. We have the 20% off 100 milliliter, as long as you have $25 or more in your cart. And then $15 or more in your cart, you'll get 15% off a 50 milliliter of bed cement. So it will pop up underneath. I'll show you guys. It's like a little kind of Easter egg we have on our site. We have like coupons that will pop up when you have certain amounts of dollar items in your cart. So like if I go here and like I just click filament, I'm just gonna add a roll of film here. It's $29. If I go to the cart here, do you see this special deals? So you can do both of them if you wanted to. So if I add that, it'll add that to the cart and it's a discounted price. So if you guys are looking to get like bed cement, we run deals like this all the time. You see how it adds it to the cart there, and then you can empty it. So we do have little deals there for if you spend over a certain amount, and those are just kind of little Easter eggs I put in the site. Those I think are valid until the end of this month. So, yeah, but yeah, you have to have it has to be a minimum spend. So, but all right, I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys got anything to add before we let everybody go? No,
Ready for food.
you ready for food?
I'm on Krista's boat. I'm ready for my food to get here.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody stopping by. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. We're gonna have a LAN party. If you guys are in the Northwest Indiana area, bug me. Maybe I'll let you come over and play some games with us. So we do have a couple spots left for the LAN party. So, all right. See you guys later, and I will talk to
Have
you
a
guys
good
later.
one.
Bye, everyone.
Happy printing.
Oh, wait. Shift Escape. Oh, that's Task Manager and Brave. Shift Escape is a hotkey to end, but Brave uses that. So try it again.